I'm joined by former University of Central Oklahoma pitchers Brayden Nelson and Lawson Isaacs. Gentlemen, thank you for taking time to talk to me this afternoon. I open the floor to whoever wants to go first, but could you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Lawson, you got it?
Yeah, I graduated from Edmond North in 2017. And then I went to Juco with KP for a year. It was on last week at NOC Enid. And then I came to UCO for 3 years.
And then I I graduated Piedmont in 2016 and then went to Neosho County up in Kansas and then transferred to UCO, I think after the 2018 season. And I was there for 3 years too.
Now, both you all played Juco. So what was your Juco experience like?
My Juco experience, I love Juco. It was a good time. Everybody, you basically live with all your teammates in the dorm, so you're seeing everyone. It could just be like a regular Monday night, and you go up there and you're just dope room hopping around, seeing what everyone's up to. So it's like a constant little party up there. And then my coach is pretty cool too. He's like famous on Twitter, so he's always tweeting out his name's Steve Murray. He's always tweeting out jersey combinations, all this stuff. But yeah, I had a good time at Juco.
Yeah, my Juco experience was good too because, like Vic said, just living with everyone, like eating lunch and dinner with everyone, just because you go in there not really knowing anyone, but then you spend every day with all your teammates, and you can just go into any room at any time, and someone's gonna be doing something.
So what would you all say was your favorite part of your Juco experience?
I would say just honestly living with everybody. You're constantly, like I said, you're constantly hanging out with all the guys 24/7, and you go to practice, you go to the cafeteria, you go to class with them. You know everybody at your Juco, so you go to class, you're seeing them. But yeah, I just say just being around all your teammates all the time, just hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah, I'd say that too. But then my sophomore year, we actually ended up winning the Juco World Series national championship game.
Okay, so what was that experience like for you?
It was good because my freshman year we made it to the semis, but then we lost. So then getting back there and being able to play, and it was at our home field too. The World Series was, being able to play the national championship game in front of everyone in Enid. It was 5,000 or 6,000 people there. I've never played in front of a crowd that big. It was good. It was fun.
Were there nerves for you at that point?
I pitched in the semifinals game, and there was pretty much the same amount of people there. And when I first got out there, it kind of was, but then once I got warmed up and everything, then everything kind of settled down, kind of locked in. Adrenaline kicked over too.
Yeah. So after you all's Juco stints, you both end up at UCO. So how did you all decide UCO was where you wanted to continue your baseball career?
Out of Juco, I didn't have that many offers, and I knew I wasn't good enough to go Division I, so I kind of set my sights on. I didn't have the 95-mile-an-hour fastball, so I figured D2 was the route, but I knew I want to go to MIAA, and then my Juco coaches did a good job. They reached out to other schools in the conference, like Missouri Southern, and then I think Pitt State, and then UCO offered me, and I was familiar with the area. I'm from Piedmont, so kind of knew a lot of people around the Edmond area, so it just felt right going to UCO. And then I think KP mentioned it in his podcast. He had a good connection with the pitching coach and Coach George, and I really liked him. Me and him still talk. Coach George, and KP are still in a group text to this day. We just kind of text each other, mess around. So I just think the people here and just being familiar with the area, that's how I ended up here.
Yeah, and I also got pretty close to Coach George because he knew a lot of there was a bunch of people from NOC that came to UCO, and then him being close with KP, he'd come up to games all the time in the fall and the spring at Enid. And then I came on a couple of visits to UCO when I was still at Enid, and then just like the campus, like the coaches, and the facilities are pretty much D1 facilities.
Now, Brayden, you specifically wanted to play in the MIAA. So, what was it about the MIAA that made you so determined to finish your career playing in that conference?
I think just like I was at Kansas Juco, and obviously like get my AA, it's a lot of Kansas teams. So I mean, just being familiar with the MIAA, my coach had Coach Murray had a lot of connections with MIAA coaches, and I just knew it was a good baseball division. Like we always joked about UCO. We said the SEC of D2. So we just always said it was a good division. So that's just when I knew I wanted to go there.
And then in 2019, you tied the school record for season with the 2.12 ERA. Now, at the time, were you aware that you were close to tying that, or did you realize it or learn about that after the fact?
I think it was towards the end of the season I kind of knew. And then because during the season, I think I went like the first month without giving up a run because I was out of the bullpen to begin with. And like me and everyone else, we joke, be like, dude, how have I not given up a run yet? Like it's due. Like, and then sure enough, a buddy I went to JUCO with, I think he hit a home run off me. And then, but towards the end, I was like, geez, I don't know. It was I didn't know exactly what the record was, but I knew I was kind of close to it. And then KP, of course, had to beat me.
Now, are we salty about that? I mean, it lasted like a year. It lasted like 2 years, bro.
No, this year, I just kind of joke with him about it because, I mean, this year I saw he's doing well, and obviously I was happy for him. But after games and stuff, I'd be like, dude, you better give up some runs, man. I need to keep that record. And then, so I'd always just kind of mess with him. But I was happy it was KP that beat it because me and him used to live together, and then we're pretty good friends. So I'm glad it was him that beat it. But yeah, I'd kind of give him a hard time for it.
And then you all had a team record 548 strikeouts that season. So from a pitching standpoint, what was the secret sauce for you all?
I credit most of the strikeouts to Dylan Hall. I wasn't much of a strikeout pitcher. I probably didn't help much in that, but I think it was just kind of knowing hitters, and I don't know. We got good scouting reports on other teams, so if one guy chases a slider in the dirt, I'd be throwing that every time I got 2 strikes. Because definitely when you're pitching, if you got a situation to strike somebody out, you're definitely going for it.
And then for Lawson in 2022, you had not only a perfect game, you had a complete game. You allowed no hits, no runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts in 7 innings. You threw the no-hitter in a 12-0 win over Fort Hays. What was working for you?
Well, I was really just throwing like fastballs for a strike and then throwing sliders like for swing and miss, and then just getting ahead early because I don't think I got to a 3-ball count the whole day. Just like throwing strikes pretty much.
I heard Applebee's the night before helped out too.
Yeah, I went and got some appetizers.
What was your appetizer of choice?
Mozzarella sticks.
Okay, well, let's see. Okay, so now, were you surprised by your game that you had, or did you kind of know that you kind of had a perfect game, a no-hitter in you?
I really wasn't sure because like I knew it was a no-hitter. I didn't know it was a perfect game. Like, and I was only supposed to go like 1 or 2 innings because I pitched on Friday as well. And then like in the 3rd or 4th inning, I hit a guy, but they said he swung, but he was on first at one point. But then they brought him back and said it was a strikeout because he swung around. But I wasn't really thinking about it much because I wasn't even sure if we were going to get the run rule because I think if we would have gone like 9 innings, because I was already at a decent amount of pitches, I don't know how much longer I would have been able to go.
And this was the was the hold on, let me get my notes right. This was the first perfect game in school history. So for you, knowing all the pitchers that came before you, what does it mean to you to say you're currently the first and the only to have a no hitter?
Honestly, like with some of the pitchers, like there's been a few drafted in the past few years. Kind of surprised that none of them did it. But
And both you all had success against Fort Hayes. Obviously, Lawson had the no hitter. Brayden in 2019, you had a season high, adding 8 strikeouts against Fort Hayes. So, what is it about Fort Hayes that allows you all to be so successful pitching against?
I mean, I think me and Lawson. I mean, we were just kind of junk ball guys. So I think it just matched up well against them. We'd throw off speeds and then basically pitch backwards. But yeah, I think we just matched up well against Fort Hayes, and obviously we had a good scouting report too.
yeah, like they would really just try to swing as hard as they could. So if you just spin some stuff in there, you can get them out.
They definitely sell out for the first pitch fastball.
And okay, so I know Lawson mentioned going into the Fort Hayes, he had just pitched that Friday. So as a pitcher, how do you all kind of go about managing your arm throughout the season?
You just roll with the punches.
Yeah, usually a decent amount of ibuprofen.
Yeah. Get some ibuprofen, some biofreeze. I mean, all the above. But I mean, once you get up there and like the adrenaline kicks in, I think at least for me, all the pain you just kind of forget about it, and then you got pulled after, and then you're just like, wow, my arm hurts. But yeah, I think just the mixture of ibuprofen, some adrenaline, that's the trick to it.
Okay, so what would you say is you all's most effective pitch?
I'd say probably both of us. Probably mine's definitely slider. Bix is either slider or changeup.
Yeah, probably. I'd say slider was the bread and butter.
Yeah.
Okay. And as a pitcher, because I think was it now? Yeah, because you're part of a bullpen. So kind of like, what is that dynamic like for those of us who might not have been in a bullpen type? Like, what is that experience like?
The bullpen might be the weirdest place on earth. Like, just the conversations down there, you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
You just gotta stay loose down there, I think. And then we would always have a snack bag down there too. So the last pitcher that gave up a home run, they would have to take this like princess backpack, a pink backpack, and go to Walmart, and they'd have to fill it up with snacks for the whole bullpen. So we'd be down there in the bullpen like the second inning, just snacking the whole game.
Now, what were the snacks of, like? What were the snacks of choice for you all?
My favorite was definitely the little high chews.
Yeah, high chews were definitely popular.
I tried. Usually didn't last over a game or two.
The trick was we couldn't get chocolate because chocolate would just melt out there. If you got chocolate, you'd have to eat it in like the second inning. So it was kind of like a challenge, but we had to get something that wouldn't melt. So the high chews, Laffy Taffies. What else we get? Some Big League Chew, of course.
Usually some goldfish or something.
Yeah, goldfish.
Something a little salty.
Now, for the unfortunate person that had to go carry that backpack and fill it with snacks, was that something that you all ribbed on that person until another person had to fill that backpack, or was it kind of just the kind of shame of having to go and fill that backpack with snacks?
I think it was just we'd have pitchers sometimes they give up a home run and they wouldn't fill up the snack bag, and I think it's worse like coming to the field and you just get everyone yelling at you because you didn't fill up the snack bag. But we also had to deal with the pitching coaches. Like if we threw a shutout, then the pitching coach would have to fill up the snack bag. So just gave us a little extra motivation to go out there and not give up runs.
Oh, so they were in on the snapback as well.
Oh yeah, everyone was in it.
That's great.
The worst was position players would try and come down and get some snacks out of it and be like, "No, dude, get out of here. You're not a pitcher." So it was just pitchers.
Yeah, so you had to have somebody stationed to guard the snack bag at all times. It was like one of you had to make sure it was only pitchers getting into that snack bag.
Usually, if the pitchers were down in the bullpen, we'd try to like keep the position players out of it.
We let catchers eat out of it though, because they catch us, so we had to show them some love.
Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Well, okay. What would you all say was your favorite part of road trips? Because obviously you all have a long season, more so than a lot of other sports on campus. So, like, what were those road trip experiences like?
I think our road trip tradition was on the bus. We'd always play the game Mafia. If you ever played that, I don't know what to compare it to, but you basically just try and decide who's in the Mafia in this game. But that was always a game we play on the bus. And then, I don't know, road trips. What do you think, Loss?
Yeah, we always played Mafia on the bus, and then we started playing Crazy Eights
Oh,
in the
yeah.
iMessage games, which is like Uno.
We got so hooked on that.
We'd get into that for a couple hours.
We bought Uno, and then we got off the bus, and we immediately all went to somebody's room and just started playing a huge game of Uno.
Now, were you keeping points in the Uno game though?
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute now, how competitive was this Uno game?
Oh man,
testosterone in that room.
Everything we did was competitive. I remember KP went on one. He didn't win like 50 straight games, and he heard about it for like a week.
Wait a minute. He had a 50-game Uno losing streak.
Yeah. Well, it gets to a point where you're on a losing streak and like everyone targets you. So like you just stack fours on them and gets around to KP and he's drawing 12 cards.
That's brutal. That's brutal. Okay, so now you mentioned that. Okay, so what is your? I know Uno is kind of at the mercy of the cards, but did you all have a strategy going into a Uno game about how to attack it? Because if it's such a big group, you kind of know who's next to you, who's in front of you, who's behind you. So was there some strategy involved in that?
Yeah, like you didn't want to get rid of your draw fours too early. So that way you could, like, if someone puts one on you, you could be able to stack it.
Yeah, that's a rookie move.
Try to hold on to those till later in the game.
Usually, too, I mean, if me and Lawson are sitting next to each other and let's say KP's on the other side, we try and low-key game plan. We're like, all right, let's attack KP here. Let's stack fours on him.
Why? Oh, that's cold. You just got to gang up on your fellow pitchers. Okay. Let's see. Okay. What would you all say is your favorite UCO baseball memory?
You go ahead, Loss.
Probably the game after Fort Hayes. Like after the perfect game, someone came up, ripped my jersey off, ripped off my undershirt. So I was just trying to find all my shirts after trying to go shake hands and stuff.
Wait. They tore your jersey off?
Yeah, I don't know who all ripped it off, but my jersey was off, and I don't know.
So was it the other team that tore your jersey?
No, it was our team. I don't know who all ripped it though.
Okay, that's a first. Okay, Brayden, what is your favorite memory?
I mean, cliche answer would probably just be playing in regionals against Central Missouri, and we lost in the regional final. I think 2019, but I think just mostly the part I miss the most is just showing up to the field every day, whether it's for like a casual practice and just messing around with all the boys, just hanging out and, you know, talking about war stories about the fall or something like that, just kicking it with everybody.
And what advice would you all give to young inspiring pitchers?
I'll just say, I mean, I feel like me and Lawson both, I mean, we didn't like once we got in the game, like I just think you can't take things too hard, like kind of don't take everything so serious. Like at the end of the game, at the end of the day, it's just a game. And I mean, I've seen people that take it way too serious. It gets to their head and like they just don't succeed that way. So just kind of going out there, I don't know, just keeping me and Lawson are both kind of like those locker room guys that kept everything like lighthearted mood. So I think just treating it like just like you're out there hanging out with your friends. I mean, that's all advice I have. Just don't take it too serious. Like when it's in the game, yeah, it's serious, but at the end of the day, it's just a game.
Yeah, I'd say that, and then just be able to throw strikes. Like, doesn't matter how hard you throw, because me and Bix, we didn't throw the hardest. We would just try to throw strikes and just let people put a ball in play and just get outs.
And looking back on you all's careers, do any of you have any regrets about how your careers went?
Nah, I'd say I don't have any regrets. Nah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I do either.
Oh, okay. And what would you all miss most about your time at UCO?
I'd probably just say like in the locker room before practice and like just going to practice every day, hanging out with everyone.
I'll tell you what I don't miss is all the running we did in the fall.
Yeah. Do not miss the running.
Okay, now Brayden, now your social media, now your name is Bix Remington. So like how what is the story behind that? I'm not gonna lie to you, when you messaged me and I'm like, who is Bix Remington? Until I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this guy's name from UCO. So how did that come about?
I wish I had a cooler story than what it actually is, but I think I was in high school and me and my brother were just hanging out and we're just like, dude, let's just give each other fake names. Like, I don't know why, but I ended up naming him Roscoe Malone and he named me Bix Remington. And we're just like, all right, that's it. Like, we're going to put that as our social media handles. So we did. And then once I got to college, like the name Bix just kind of stuck. Like, nobody called me Brayden. Like, it was kind of weird if somebody called me Brayden. So, like, the coaches would call me Bix. And then I'm sure if you ask Coach Martin, like, hey, you know who Brayden is? He'd be like, who? And he'd be like, Bix. He'd be like, oh, yeah, Bix. Like, yeah.
Now I met Coach Martin. I guess it was last year for the first time. And what was it like playing for him?
I mean, Coach Martin, he's an intense guy. I like playing with him. Like, he just, at the end of the day, he just wanted to win. So, I mean, if you do your job, he's not going to have any problems with you. I mean, I think it's just, I don't know. I like playing with Coach Martin. I thought he was a good coach, too.
Yeah, I like playing them. And like, there was a couple of times like umpire make a bad call and he'd get tossed. So, like, you knew he always have his players back.
Yeah, for sure.
And knowing that, what did that mean to you as a player, kind of having a coach willing to go out there and fight for you all?
I thought it was big just knowing, I mean, and then Coach Martin, I mean, he also, like, he let you, like, kind of voice your opinion as a player. I mean, I remember me and him got into it one time, and then, I mean, I got ripped for it pretty good, but then we sat down in his office afterwards, and he just kind of, like, we talked it out. So it's like he can see your side as a player because he also played professional baseball, like I think in the Dodgers organization. So he can see where you're coming from. He can relate to you. And like at the end of the day, like he has your back.
Yeah, like playing for a coach like that, you just kind of like want to put everything on the line when you're out there on the field, just because you know he'd do anything for you, so you just want to do anything.
And then yeah, even after playing baseball, like he's still like, I mean, I still have a good relationship with him. Every time last year I'd stop by the field to go watch this kid pitch, and then he'd always just ask me how it's going, all this. So he still has good connections, still good relationships with all the alumni too.
Okay. But before I get you guys out of here, I do this with every new guest. Now, this is the first time we've had more than one guest on at a time. So, my guests. Okay, let's see. Your favorite sports teams.
The Yankees.
Red Sox, dude. This is where we differ.
Okay, now what is this trash? What was the trash talk like? I imagine it had to be intense at times.
Oh, it's worse now because we live together.
Oh man, that's gotta be.
We're in the same house right now, just different rooms.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Let's see. Okay. You're well now you're done with baseball, but your favorite hobby outside of baseball?
Definitely golf.
And then me, gotta be bowling. We used to the whole baseball team used to on Tuesday nights. We'd like the whole team. We'd go to the AMF bowling alley off Boulevard, and I mean that would get competitive too. I mean we even started calling ourselves the Alley Cats. We had a bowling nickname and everything. We had bowling names. I think Lawson's bowling name was Iguana, and I think mine was my bowling name was Torpedo.
Well, no, when you say it was competitive, now was it competitive amongst like individual players or like position groups? So like, would it be pitchers against outfielders? Would it be outfielders against infielders? Or was it like every man for himself?
No, it was every man for himself.
Yeah.
and who usually would come out on top in these bowling excursions you all had?
It was usually different every time, but then I remember we'd been going for like a couple weeks, and then our teammate Owen Logan, he just randomly showed up, and we're just like, all right, dude, we're gonna introduce him to the Alley Cats, like show him we can bowl. And he just shows up and bowls like a 214, and we're like, dude, where have you been? You just demolished us.
We just showed up. Let's see. Okay. Favorite food?
I'm gonna have to go with I like seafood. I like some crab.
I'd probably say steak.
Steak. Okay, now with the steak, are we talking rare, medium rare, well done? How do we eat the steak?
I usually go with like medium rare.
Medium rare. Okay. That's been the consensus so far.
Yeah.
Let's see. Favorite TV show?
Workaholics.
I'd say Always Sunny in Philadelphia or Workaholics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, your favorite musical artist?
Turnpike.
Yeah, Turnpike Troubadours.
Okay. You have a favorite song by them?
I've tried like picking a favorite song by them, and it's tough because almost every one of their songs is pretty good.
I think the song "Whole Damn Town" that throws you back to when we're sitting on the roof hanging out. That's the song we'd always blare.
Now I was told by college you all were the ones to put him on the Turnpike. Would that be an accurate statement?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We had to culture him a little bit.
Wait, so what was he? Okay, so what was he listening to prior that you all were like, nah, you need to listen to Turnpike?
I don't know. Whatever they listen to in Cushing, I don't know.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, did you all have any pregame routines that you normally would do?
I wore my left sock inside out.
Okay.
That's about it.
I'd always take 4 ibuprofen before a game, and usually have an energy drink. But
Okay.
I mean, nothing like wearing my sock inside out.
Can't step on the foul line either.
Yeah.
That's just a known rule across baseball.
Really? Okay. So, like, what is it about stepping on the foul line that's kind of frowned upon?
I don't know. I feel like I might have to do some research on this. I might go back to like the 1800s, dude. I just know it's always been frowned upon. I think the baseball gods look down bad on you if you step on the foul line. It's always like, if you step on the foul line before the game, I'm probably going to give up a home run.
Okay. Well, let's see. I guess my final question for you, gentlemen, would be: you have message to the fan supporters of the baseball program. Just you have a message for them. I guess just about their support during your time in a Bronco uniform.
Yeah, I mean, I know the wrestling team, they'd always come get rowdy at the game, so shout out to them. But yeah, it was fun just playing in front of like people you knew.
Yeah, the last few weeks we had the wrestling, hockey, and I think some of the football and basketball teams show up. That was one of the bigger crowds we had, so that was fun to play in front of because they were getting into the other team and coaches. Some of the chirps they had were pretty good.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I thank you for taking time to come on. I kind of came out of nowhere. I know Brayden reached out to me on Instagram. It was like, hey, hint, a cool episode would be, Lawson and I was like, hey, by all means. So, by all means. But I appreciate you guys taking time. I wishing you all the best in your future ventures, and if you ever want to come on again and talk some UCO baseball or Uno battles or bowling or whatever it have you, you're more than welcome to.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
No problem. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.